Fresno, and welcome to the very first Positively Fresno show. I'm your host, Jenine Klein, and I'd like to thank our sponsor, National Raisin Company. Our first guest is Ralph Ramirez with the Central Valley Blood Center. Hello, Ralph, and thank you for coming on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So let's say that a person's never given blood before. What's it like to donate? Is the needle big, small? What's the process to not have intimidating things go on there?
Sure. Well, in terms of size of the needle, it doesn't matter the size because people still have the fear of the needle, whether it's big or small. It is not that big, so I just tell people that because when you start giving measurements, they do their own math, and that's where the fear comes in. But it's mind over matter, like we tell everybody. Technically, we build up this traumatic scenario that, oh, it's going to hurt and I'm going to bleed to death. That is definitely not the case. It is a very slow and easy, gentle process. Average time with the needle in your arm to donate is about 5 to 8 minutes that we see at our average donors.
How much is drawn out of the body?
1 pint of blood is what we take that we need to collect. A lot of people say, I don't have enough blood to give you, jokingly, to kind of get out of the donation. Mm-hmm. And I tell everybody, well, that's not true because the average person has 8 to 12 pints of blood in their body. And all we want is one.
All you want is one. And does the body reproduce blood?
Sure, it replenishes immediately, and then they are eligible to come back in 8 weeks to donate another pint.
How about any misconceptions? Have you heard anything that people say that they've heard that maybe would be intimidating? You recruit out of Transylvania or something like that. I mean, what goes on there?
Not a whole lot. They think that, they call us vampires, here come the vampires and you're out here to take my blood and hurt me. But the flip side, obviously, is that, 1 pint of blood saves 3 lives. Mm-hmm. So when you kind of put it in that perspective, mm-hmm. Sometimes it changes the mindset of someone who maybe had doubt to say, wow, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'll give it a shot now. So it's the education side mm-hmm. of why people don't donate, maybe the lack of education, I should say, why people don't donate.
And then is there one blood type that a person has that is more, let's say, valuable, so to speak, than other types?
Sure. So O negative is our universal blood type. So if you're O neg, anybody can receive that blood type. All types are needed, though, not to discriminate any other blood type.
Sure.
6.6% of the population carry the O negative blood type. Mm-hmm. So that's not a huge percentage. So you can imagine not all of that 6.6% donate. So it makes it even harder for us to capture that blood type. And that's why it's so important to know your blood type.
And then the blood that's donated here in the Central Valley, does it stay here in the Central Valley or does it go to other areas in California or nationwide that are lacking in supplies?
Right. So our focus is we service all 5 counties, so it does stay in the Central Valley first. Mm-hmm. When we have extra blood, if you will, and there is someone else in need, we are more than willing to share the blood and vice versa. We're all on the same mission, we're all in the same industry, mm-hmm. and our mission obviously is to save lives.
And then what is a location that people can go donate blood? Are you still doing the mobile trucks?
Yes, we are. So being that we are essential, we do have the approval to continue our mobile blood drives. There has been some modifications, obviously, due to the pandemic, but we are currently trying to keep our blood drives. I know people have fear because they don't want to be in a blood mobile because of social distancing, mm-hmm. But we do only fill half capacity now in our blood mobiles to ensure that peace of mind that we are being safe. You can still go into our donor centers. We have several locations. We have Herndon and Blythe. We have First and Shaw, Champlain and Perrin, and our South Valley Donor Center in Visalia on Caldwell Avenue. Mm-hmm. So there are several options for the community to come out and donate. Again, we are essential, and we are taking the safeties and the protocols due to the pandemic to make sure that the blood donations are safe.
Is a person available to make an appointment or walk in, or both?
Both. So we do encourage people to make an appointment. It kind of hopefully gets people in and out at an accurate time. If you're a first-time donor, we do ask you just to walk in. But other than that, you can go on our website at donateblood.org, and you can make an appointment online at one of our donor centers or even at one of our mobile blood drives. Every week we put out where we're going to be out in the community with our bloodmobile, so they can make appointments accordingly.
And then you are an account executive.
That's correct.
For the Central Valley Blood Center.
Yes.
So you're out and about in Fresno in the Central Valley. Tell us about what you do.
Okay, so in my job, I pretty much have to make sure that I'm booking blood drives throughout the community, making sure that I'm bringing donors into our donor centers, whether it's individuals or small groups, and also kind of managing our blood supply, making sure that we're at par levels, if not exceeding those levels.
And then how does our viewers get in contact with you if they would like to have a blood drive or sponsor the Central Valley Blood Center? What information can they have about you?
Okay, well, they can actually go on our website, and there is a link there where if they're interested in wanting to schedule a blood drive, and then the account executives will they'll send that down to us. If you want to get in direct contact with me, you can reach me on my email. It's Ramirez at donateblood.org, or you can reach my work cell. It's 559-290-0806.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you're giving us this valuable information. And recently, Ralph won an award of excellence for outstanding community service. And so he's reaching out to our community in a positive way. Tell us about that, Ralph.
Yeah, so I had the pleasure and the honor to be part of the Leadership Fresno program that's through the Fresno Chamber of Commerce. I was selected one of 25 students, or class members, I should say, to be a part of it. And it's a community-based organization, giving back to the community, where you fundraise and create projects to either do renovations in the community that may need it, something where you leave your staple or your stamp, if you will, of what we've given back to the community and obviously our city of Fresno.
Oh, great. So what was your field of expertise that got you this award? What was your main project?
So our main project was we renovated due to the pandemic, we were cut short, unfortunately, but we did renovations with the Fresno Discovery Center, rebuilding all of their sculptures and all of their science things that they have over there, and just kind of give it a uplift and a makeup so that the kids can go back and really enjoy the experience of learning how things work in the science world.
Oh, great. And what statues, and I'm picturing what statues they are. Which ones did you do?
Yeah, so we were able to renovate like the how air shoots through a cannon, like with paper airplanes, and we did almost like a xylophone where the kids can learn different sounds on the music side. So we were able to just renovate some of the old artifacts that that maybe have worn down over time.
So what's in the future for you in regards to community-based volunteerism?
Yeah, so continue to give back. I've been very active in the community, not only through Leadership Fresno has given me the opportunity, but also at the Central California Blood Center. Continue to join organizations, help support nonprofit, as well as even get on some of the boards to be involved in the community, and then use my networking that way.
Oh, great. And so if you can make one big change in a positive way about Fresno, what would it be?
Oh, great question. I am a big believer still in the renovation of downtown. I believe that everyone's downtown is a capital of their city. And I know downtown Fresno done a great job so far, and do renovations, bringing small businesses and even restaurants and nightlife. I am a big supporter, so I want to hopefully find ways, and that's kind of through the leadership program, where I can get involved and continue to contribute and support the renovation of downtown Fresno.
And then if our viewers out there would like to also get involved in this leadership program, because it sounds amazing, how does someone get involved? Is there a website or a link?
Yes, you go on the Fresno Chamber of Commerce website. Right now they're not I don't think they're taking applications because of the pandemic, but keep your eyes out on their website, and it is an application where you apply. They will call you in for an interview and see if you're selected to be the next class.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to have you as a guest, and you're my inaugural person
Wow,
on
what
this
an honor.
first ever show.
That means a lot.
And it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and you're doing amazing work in our Fresno community.
Thank you.
And we need so many more like you out there.
Yeah, thank
and
you.
so thank you, Ralph, for coming
You're
on the
welcome.
show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, take care. Well, thank you.
Termites? Gone. Ants? Gone. Call San Joaquin Pest Control at 291-2200 or visit them online at sanjoaquinpestcontrol.com to take care of your pest problem today.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.
Got lactose intolerance or dairy allergies? Discover delicious raw milk and discover dairy the way it's supposed to be. We provide tours and would love to see you. Come visit the cows, watch the milking, the cheese being made, and learn all about raw milk. We're just 20 miles south and west of Fresno, California. Call to schedule a tour at 559-846-9732. Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973.
Carolco, the Valley's leader for no-cost energy upgrades. Call Carolco at 559-396-3939 and visit carolco.net.
Call Valley Cryosport today to learn how you can decrease muscle soreness, speed up your body's recovery time, and improve your immune system. And Valley Cryoskin uses science that works with your body's natural systems, killing fat cells without damaging surrounding tissue, and increasing oxygen supply that aids in collagen production, resulting in slimmer, toned bodies, and the elimination of fine lines and wrinkles. Visit valleycryosport.com today, or call 559-500-3304.
Clovis Community College may be free for you to attend. Call 325-5239 or visit cloviscollege.edu for details. We offer general education classes for transfer and short-term training programs.
Leemore Movers has been moving families and communities for over 40 years, providing outstanding civilian and DoD relocations. Our specialty is providing packing, moving, and storage services for NAS Leemore military members and their families. Call 888-776-3314 and visit leemoremovers.com.
At McDermott Counseling, you will receive the highest level of care and a welcoming, safe space in which to discuss your most personal issues. Our therapists go above and beyond for you. Call 559-280-5756 or visit McDermottCounseling.com to find a caring therapist who best suits your needs.
Now with offices in Hanford, California. Also offering telehealth therapy. Weedman Lawn Care of Fresno, California is a locally owned and operated lawn care company providing environmentally responsible fertilization, weed control, and integrated pest management services. Call Weedman Fresno at 559-266-1624 or visit them at fresno.weedmanusa.com.
Hello, and welcome back to Positively Fresno. Our next guest is April Glass. She's an artist here from Fresno, and she specializes in acrylic paints and resin crafts. Hi, April.
Hi.
Now tell us what resin crafts is. What's the process?
Well, pretty much it's a two-part. There's a hardener and a resin, and it's kind of a mixture that you have to combine in order to create what you're going to make. It pretty much turns into kind of like a hard plastic type material, and you can add any number of items. I use a lot of dry flowers, stickers, paints to create whatever, ashtrays, dominoes, I mean, a number of different things.
Is it a mold?
Yes.
And you pour it in?
Yes, I'm sorry. There's, you can pick different molds, and just make what you find enjoy. There's so many to choose from. So you can pick, currently I have molds for different ashtrays, dishes, trays, soap dishes. There's so many things to choose from.
I saw your dominoes. They're really cute. It
Thank
looks like they
you.
have dried flowers in them.
They did.
And they're gold sparkly.
And yeah, like gold flakes.
Uh-huh.
They've been a pretty big seller on my website, or not my website, but on my Instagram page.
Instagram
Yes.
page. And that's where our viewers can see all your artwork and your items you have for sale is
Yes.
April Glass Fresno, at April Glass Fresno, correct?
Yes.
And I believe you sent us some pictures of your art.
I did. I
Okay,
did.
so let's take a look at those.
Okay.
Let's see, and you can tell us about it. Tell us what this is about here.
So this right here is a trinket box, kind of like a small jewelry box. I put dried flowers in there. This was a custom order. Someone requested that I make it with those specific colors, and that's mainly what I've been doing. Is I've been getting a lot of custom orders. I started creating some of my own things, and then when people found out that they can design it themselves, they seem to get pretty excited about it. So that's a lot of what I've been doing.
And then they'll DM you through Instagram and
Correct.
send you a picture of what the look they're going for? Or do you
not
have
necessarily.
creative freedom?
I have more creative freedom. They kind of just tell me the colors or items that they would prefer to have in the creation, and I go with it from there.
So how did you get into resin craft? Did somebody inspire you, or did someone show you how to do this, or how did you get involved?
Well, honestly, there's a local artist who creates resin who I admire very much. I think she's very talented. I don't know if I can say.
Sure, you can. Yeah.
Her name is Fresloka. She makes jewelry and a lot of different items than I do. But I just thought her items were so beautiful, and I wanted the opportunity to kind of just give it a try. And with the whole pandemic, being stuck at home, I kind of just, it was completely by just trial and error. I looked online, I learned how to do it. It was just something to keep me occupied and something fun. And my sister, who's been extremely supportive, and my husband said, you know, that I think these are good enough that people might want to buy them. So I posted them, and sure enough, people responded right away. So
Yeah, I was looking on your Instagram page and looking over your art, and I noticed it says sold
Yes.
on a lot of your pictures that you
oh
have
yes,
there.
yeah.
And let's see some more of your artwork that you have out there for the people to see.
Okay. This is a soap dish, which was also requested. I had a customer who really loves the color yellow and sunflowers, so I incorporated that, and she loved it, so I was pretty happy with how it turned out.
And then, what new avenues are you thinking in art? Which direction are you? Artists always seem to be ready for the next new
Yes.
creation. Where are you going to go from here?
I've actually been into acrylic painting and watercolors for as long as I can remember. It's kind of come and gone, and I actually had a government job that I worked for about 16 years, and I just didn't feel fulfilled in that position. And 2 years ago, I lost my mom to cancer, and it kind of pushed me to not take life for granted and to take the opportunity to do what makes me happy. And that kind of explains my hair as well.
Yeah, I love your hair.
Yeah,
It's so pretty.
thank you.
It's wonderful.
Next, I've kind of been playing around with clay, doing sculpting, and I'm having fun with that. So
How does do you go to a specific art studio that has clay, or do you buy the clay and mold it at your house or your studio?
I don't have a studio currently. I do everything from my home, with a lot of help from my husband, and he actually does his own resin projects too that he works on, kind of on the side. We're a tag team, and it's just been a really great experience. We kind of create together, and a lot of painting, a lot of resin, dabbling with the clay right now, and we'll just see how that goes and where I go next.
And then what obstacles have you had to overcome to get to where you are today?
Well, I would say I was actually diagnosed with breast cancer in February, and that's been kind of something that's pushed me to try to find the safest way of working with everything, just because the resin, you do have to take safety precautions while you're creating it. There are like vapors that emit from it, so you have to be very careful. Gloves, mask, goggles, all of the necessary things. So that is something I may be stepping not completely away from, but doing less of, just for health reasons. But my husband is going to continue doing that and helping me. So it'll be more of, I'll be designing and he'll be kind
You'll
of
be
the
the
more.
brains and he'll be the labor.
Exactly. Yeah. That more or less it'll be like that. Yes.
And then how has art impacted you positively? With everything that you've had to experience leading up to this point, how does art fulfill you in that way?
I think it's a great way to express yourself. I've found that when I've been kind of down, it's something that I can turn to and just put my feelings into it, or it helps me get my mind off of what I necessarily don't want to be focusing on at that time. And I think it's just a great creative outlet.
And then what's it like to be a business owner coming from a 9-to-5 government job to being self-employed, being creative, and having your own small business as a woman? That's so wonderful and impressive. And
Thank you.
It's courageous, and now you're battling breast cancer, and it's just so it's impacting a lot of people, and that's wonderful. So
Thank
tell
you.
us more about it. How are you doing it?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a struggle. There's a lot I don't know, but I do a lot of research. I'm fortunate enough that I have quite a few family members who run their own businesses, so I can kind of pick their brain when I'm not sure of how to do something or how to get it done. But I am just trying my best, and it has been kind of an overwhelming process at first. It's kind of scary to go from a sure thing to oh no, is this going to work out? Are people going to like it? How are they going to feel about what I'm putting out there? I think it's normal to have those concerns, but I've had positive responses, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, that's so inspiring.
Thank you.
To hear your story and your courage to walk away and pursue your passion of art, and now what your next battle that you're going to be facing, which I know you'll overcome.
Thank you.
And
I will.
And your artwork's beautiful, so please go see April Glass Fresno and see your artwork. And as she said, you can make special requests, and her and her husband, he'll be doing the resin, and she'll take care of all of the other artistic parts of it.
Yes.
And so you also have an email, correct, that they can email you?
Yes, aprilglassfresno@gmail.com.
Great. And
Thank you.
And thank you, April Glass. Your story is inspiring
Thank
to
you.
all
I
of us and
appreciate
all of our
that.
viewers, I'm sure. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Yes, aprilglassfresno@gmail.com.
And thank you, April.
Pour yourself a glass of Crybaby wine available at the market and Sam's Italian Deli. And remember to ask for Crybaby wine at your favorite restaurant.
Weedman Lawn Care of Fresno, California is a locally owned and operated lawn care company providing environmentally responsible fertilization, weed control, and integrated pest management services. Call Weedman Fresno at 559-266-1624 or visit them at fresno.weedmanusa.com.
Leemore Movers has been moving families and communities for over 40 years, providing outstanding civilian and DoD relocations. Our specialty is providing packing, moving, and storage services for NAS Leemore military members and their families. Call 888-776-3314 and visit leemoremovers.com.
Welcome back to Positively Fresno. I'm your host, Jenine Klein. I have with me Santiago Soto, owner of Beyond the Wine. Welcome, Santiago.
Hey, Jenine. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So recently, you're from Fresno, but you moved to the Bay Area.
That's right.
And then you came back to your hometown with your family, and you opened Beyond the Wine. Tell us about that journey. What brought you back home?
You know, it's funny. I meet a lot of people every day that seem to boomerang back to the Valley. But yeah, I left in '99, and we were gone for almost 20 years and experienced the Bay Area, had some businesses out there, and decided to move back to Fresno. A lot of it was because we were empty nesting, and there really wasn't the need to to be out in the Bay and experiencing kind of that cost of living when we can come back to the Valley. We have a lot of family and friends here as well. So it was nice. They've always asked us, hey, when are you going to come back to Fresno? And we kind of ran out of excuses at some point. So we thought, what better time than now? So we decided to move back in 2018.
What is your background in wine and hospitality that motivated you to open this wine lounge?
Well, I've been in the hospitality industry for over 25 years. So I started off as a young boy, in the industry, and I really just fell in love with it from the very beginning. And so it took me on a journey from owning my own restaurants, managing restaurants, but really the bar scene and the adult beverages really kind of where I think I've always gravitated towards. So coming back to Fresno, I still was in the industry. I was fortunate enough to have a position where I could live anywhere and still do my job. But as I came back to Fresno and started kind of exploring, I was really impressed with the scene, and how it had evolved and developed here in town, and to see not just restaurants, but other lounges and bars, really kind of elevating what I had seen in my previous experience in the Bay Area. I was really impressed. So after seeing that, about a year of just kind of traveling around to all these cool little places here in town, we decided that we wanted to, just like many restaurateur, kind of venture out on our own and do something here in town.
Make it your own
Exactly.
creative. How do you choose your wines? You go to Paso Robles, Napa Valley, International Wines. What's your selection? Do you choose what you like, or do you think you brought it out to a lot of different palates?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, I wish that we had the opportunity to go to, the wineries themselves and do the tastings. But I can tell you that, we recently went out to Paso Robles, and to know that there's, 300 and 400 wineries out there, we never could get through that many. But we do tastings weekly, and with some of our different vendors and boutique, distributors. We do tastings with them weekly, and we really get a chance to see what's new, what's out there. But I'll be honest with you, we really take a lot of the comments by our guests that come in and kind of really think about what their wants and needs and likes are. And so sometimes I may taste something that I don't necessarily love, but I can tell by, just tasting it that I have customers that will thoroughly enjoy it. And so that's how we make our purchases. And we try to keep it really fun. At the same time, we try to really rotate wines out to where, it's something you're not going to see on the shelf for weeks and weeks and weeks. We really want to have people come in, experience it. They taste something one time, they come back the next time, it's going to be something totally different.
Keep it open and creative and new and fresh.
Yes.
And that's important.
And we get approached by a lot of, local wineries, a lot of boutique wineries that have some really unique items, that they would like for us to share. And it's fun. I mean, we do come across some very, very unique wines that people do some very small lots, and it's great that we get a chance to talk with them directly, because we get to hear their story as well on how they got started and kind of the story behind the wine. And to me, I think sometimes that's really what makes the wine, is sometimes more the story than the actual juice in the bottle.
The personal
Absolutely.
element of it. And recently you've been, Beyond the Wine has been booking DJs and live bands, and now that everything's shifting in a different direction, how are you going to keep things creative and positive and motivated
Yeah.
because you have a live scene in there, and a lot of people come in, obviously social distancing, and you're doing all your rules and guidelines. What are you going to do? What's next?
Well, it's going to be difficult throughout these next few months, but we persevered through it this whole time. I can tell you that when we had the opportunity and the weather was a little bit better, we did some live events in our center. We're fortunate enough to have a really, really nice 3-acre fenced area that's behind our property, and our landlord's been gracious enough to let us use that property. We brought in some bands and had some really nice events out there where we'd have chalked social distancing circles on the grass and really kept it very safe. At the same time, really making it a fun event. Throughout these next couple months, it's going to be a little more difficult and challenging to get through that, but I know that we'll get through it. In all honesty, I know that we will. We have some great customers that still come in and visit us, and will come in and grab wine to go or what have you. Especially now through the holidays, with the holiday season being here, a lot of people love to share things such as a bottle of wine when they go to whether it's Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas events. So we're fortunate enough to have that fan base. But like I said, it's a great place that people could come in and find something unique. But to your question, how will we get through it? What type of events will we do? Unfortunately, we don't have the space like some do, right in front of our business where we can, set up shop. But we're going to do our best to continue, to bring some fun into it, and we're spinning our wheels constantly and reaching out. I mean, right now we're looking at doing a lot more kind of very intimate, small, private events for the holidays. So people are reaching out to us to kind of more book the lounge for whether it's their holiday gathering, for business or what have you. So keeping those events a little more private to where they're not open to the public.
And then how can our viewers get in contact with you if they have a event they would like to have at Beyond the Wine?
So all of our tags are, at Beyond the Wine North, whether it's on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and then our actual email address is beyondthewinenorth@gmail.com. So really those are the best ways to contact us, as well as calling the lounge directly. Our hours are a little bit limited these days, especially with everything, that's going on. So we've done our best to try to, limit the amount of time that we're there. Unfortunately, just with the way things are, we can't have the same hours that we once had where we're there all day long and people are coming in and out. So
Right.
we're limiting our hours to mainly the evenings when people are kind of getting off work and, out doing some shopping for whether it's, groceries or, looking, like I said, for that unique, bottle of wine that they can take to their next event.
How many different bottles of wine are there? in
Oh
there?
my gosh.
I've been in there. It's a really cool and chill lounge. We had a blast in there, and there's this huge wall filled with wine.
Yes.
I mean, anything and everything you can think of. So, but how many do you say are in there?
Oh my gosh. So each one of those little cabinets has about a dozen bottles. So, if I honestly couldn't even tell you, there's got to be at least a couple hundred bottles there, and like I said, they're from all over the place. I mean, we really try to stick to we say local wine. And when we say local wine, we're not necessarily talking about the valley only. We're talking about all of California. And, a large portion of it does come from Paso Robles only because that's really what the people here in Fresno are looking for. Like I said, with so many wineries in Paso Robles, nobody can ever get to all of them. So how do you, experience that wine without having to spend, years and years? You go into a place like mine where you can say, hey, you can still kind of explore that journey without, getting on the road. So like I said, a lot of the other wines are from different parts of California up north. And then we do some international stuff. We just recently had some wine from Chile, which was really cool, and, Australia. So we like to kind of venture out, and people do enjoy that.
And then your logo. I love your logo. It looks like it's a grapevine and then is it artichokes? What is it?
No. So
I don't know
artichokes.
what it is.
So the other side is actually they're hops.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so our our lounge, is kind of split down the middle between having wine and then as well as having craft beer.
And so tell us about the craft beer.
So that's been, something that for that particular location, we've brought in, and we rotate out craft beers on draft. We bring in a lot of cool stuff by the can, and honestly, with craft beer, we don't have to venture out too far. There is so much really good craft beer here locally.
Oh, it's amazing in Fresno. It's so much fun.
And, I think that we've only just scratched the surface. From my understanding, there's about 7 to 10 breweries here in town. But when you look at other, areas with similar, with similar amount of people, they're talking about anywhere between 20 to 100 different breweries. So I think that Fresno still has a lot of opportunity for, new and upcoming breweries to come in, and I know they're coming. But it's exciting, like I'm really looking forward to seeing what else we bring to Fresno.
And at the downtown Fresno Ale Trail.
Yes.
And so that's a whole fun way of doing downtown Fresno as well.
Absolutely.
And so you'll have to get on there. You'll have to be on the passport that they have. They could have some of your your beers and
That's
go
right.
from there.
That's right.
And what's next? What are you going to do next? You said you've had restaurants. Do you plan on opening anything else here in Fresno? I mean, obviously right now wouldn't be the time, but your overall goals, is there something beyond?
Oh,
Beyond
absolutely.
the wine?
Absolutely. I mean, I think
Are you gonna tell us?
We
Can
would.
you tell?
I'll be honest with you. We'd love to continue to expand our business, and we're about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary in December 1st. But to be honest, it's been a year, and we've probably been in operation fully for about 4.5 to 5 months. So, you know, we've had a lot of, you know, closures and things of that nature, but our original goal was to continue to expand. And, you know, we're looking at different parts of Fresno that would, you know, love to have a place like ours, and really look at some different opportunities, whether it's, you know, different parts of Fresno or Clovis or what have you. But obviously things have slowed down as of right now. But I think that next year we'll be geared back up again, and we'll be looking for spots and, you know, looking for people that want to, you know, join this kind of new revolution of bringing adult beverages and this lounge type atmosphere to Fresno. I mean, I think it's great, honestly. I mean, we've had nothing but really positive reviews on when people come in and really enjoy themselves there, and it's a place where people can just really relax and hang out.
I agree. I had a great time when I was in there, and his daughter Madi is the general manager and a bartender there, and she's great to speak to, and we had a lot of fun, and she's knowledgeable as well as Santiago, and so now's a little tough time, but you are working on great ideas. So Fresno, go support Beyond the Wine. Get your bottles of wine there. They have over 200. So I know they have something for your palate there.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
coming
having
on
us.
and keep us posted on what you're going to do. I want to know.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you need to get fit, contact Gary Torres, IFBB Pro, specializing in weight loss, body transformations, and contest prep. Email Gary Torres 5336@yahoo.com.
Hey, I'm Chris DeVold. Tune in every Friday night on CentralValleyTalk.com when I bring you Sex, Drugs, Chris DeVold, where I'll give you 3 guesses on what we talk about. And I also vow to bring you 1 live local music act a week. So tune in every week, because you never know what kind of music you're going to hear right here on CentralValleyTalk.com.
The Space Colony Journals are an epic tale of a family's struggle to survive. Meet the courageous women and dangerous men who dare to carve a home on the alien world of Vensu. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon and Gale Daly's FineArt.com.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension, a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
Contact Sarah Hernandez of June and Matt Photography to schedule your portrait, engagement, wedding, or next family photo session. But that's not all. Sarah is also your personal brandographer, helping you ditch the stock photos and get images that sell. Call 559-412-3721. Visit juneandmattphoto.com and follow Sarah on Instagram and Facebook.
Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973.
Fresno, and I'd like to welcome our next guest, Tiffany Croww. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So Tiffany Croww is an awesome lady. So she has this amazing yoga classes, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. On all these platforms, she's got thousands and thousands of followers. She's built this brand by having this amazing laugh, just being uninhibited with her body and just saying, hey, love yourself.
Totally.
Let's do this. Let's do some yoga.
Let's do it.
And if you've never done it before, I'm going to show you and I'm going to give you the inspiration to do it. So tell me, Tiffany, your story. I want to know.
Okay. So like 15 years ago, I started practicing yoga, went to a local yoga studio, loved it, was thinking like, this is it. Like, I love this practice. I love the yoga vibe. Like, it was very centering, but I've always been a plus size person. So you can say plus size, but I like to call myself a fat person. That's how I identify, so to speak. But it's because I am a fat person. I have like hips and a belly and a chest, and I have to move my body a little bit differently. And once I figured out like my yoga is always going to be different. It will always be different than what the teacher is teaching because my body looks differently. And I felt like in this last year, really coming into my own in a place where I wanted to kind of send that message to other people as well. I was always the lone fat girl in a yoga class, and so I wanted other fat girls to feel, or boys, people, to feel just as comfortable going into a yoga class. And there's not very many like fat yogis out there. Like if you search the hashtag, it's probably like 1/10, 1/20th of what is in the regular yoga hashtag, like on Instagram and everything else, because we exist, but like, just in a, like, basically people don't want to see all of us, right? Like we only want to see like small parts for fat people, but that's okay because, we need to still be able to exist in this world as like however we want. And so I wanted to bring that to people, like being able to teach them in a certain way. So I got my teacher certification in February, and then I started kind of creating my own brand. And I just wanted people to feel super comfortable and have a safe environment where they could look at me, know right off the bat, like, you're going to probably laugh in my class. You're probably going to be comfortable because I'm fat too. So I'm going to tell you, move your belly, do this with your arm. Like, we have body parts that need like shifting when we're practicing yoga. And I just feel like if you're in a thin body, you don't know how to cue, or maybe you would forget to cue those types of things. Mm-hmm. Whereas I never forget because my body parts definitely let me know when I'm practicing, like, this is how we need to move. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where I came up with the brand, was just like being in my own body and realizing I needed to practice yoga a little bit differently.
Now, you worked in retail for 19 years.
Yes.
And then you left it how long ago?
October 1st was basically like my final day, essentially. It was like my first day into being a full-time yoga teacher. And so, yeah, like I worked in retail for 19 years, and I did all the things. There was like a kind of like a ceiling to that. I was a store leader at one point, a general manager. And so for like 7 years, I just kind of was at a standstill and I wanted more. And so that's why I really began to explore other things. Like, what is my passion? Like, I'm, 36, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is it? Like, this is what my life is going to be. And I don't even, I loved what I was doing. I love being with guests. I love talking to people, obviously, but it wasn't enough. So that's when I started seeking out like other things, and yoga was always a passion. And so that's why I decided this is it. Like, I know I can do this.
What would be the best advice you can give to someone who's in your shoes? Because you did it. You snapped up and said, I'm going to be a yoga teacher. I'm walking away from my job.
Right.
What would you tell them? What advice would you say?
Well, first of all, you have to believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Lots and lots of imposter syndrome. And I've been like working with clients, like coaching as well. Like yoga and coaching kind of goes hand in hand, but like imposter syndrome comes up a lot. So being able to believe in yourself is so important. And I just knew like this is what I need to do. When I started putting content out there, people would start DMing me like, Tiffany, this changed me. Like, this changed my attitude. This changed my mindset. This is changing my body and how I feel about my body. And I knew my message was so important because women typically think that if you're fat, you need to be on a weight loss program. You need to start losing weight. You need to change your body. And I don't believe that. I feel like as a human, we deserve respect in whatever size body that we have, and we should be finding movement joyful. And so like my whole thing is find the movement that feels good in your body, and whatever it ends up being, like that's your yoga, that's your movement. And so when people were responding to me in such a positive way and I was getting great feedback, I felt even more boosted. Like I really trusted myself. Like, okay, if these few followers that I was having, like you said, at the beginning of the year, I had like none, right? Like I was just barely starting out. I was just trying to get content out there. And now, as soon as like people started trickling in, they see what I'm about and they're like, I have to follow this girl. Like if nothing else, she brings a smile to my face every single day.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun to watch. She dances and she has positive affirmations. I follow her on my Instagram page on Positively Fresno, and she does cool things. Like I'll wake up in the morning, I'm looking at my Positive Fresno, and then I'll see Tiffany on there. She's like, "Be confident in your belly," and then she'll like rub her belly and dance in front of the TV.
We should love our bellies. It digests your food for you. It holds in your organs. Like your belly is beautiful exactly as it is. Person watching this, like you should know, like your belly is gorgeous. Like you should just lift up your shirt and give your belly a little squeeze and say, "Hey belly, I love you."
So let's see, you're on TikTok, Instagram, and you have a YouTube channel. Is that correct?
Yes.
So tell us where our viewers can find you.
Okay, yeah. So Tiffany Croww with 2 W's is the easiest way to find me. I'm on those platforms under that same name across the board. And then, so like TikTok is probably where I'm super duper active as far as like putting out 6 to 10 videos a day. And then Instagram, I post like every single morning, usually like whatever I've posted on TikTok, I'll post to Instagram. And then I'm really active in my stories too. And right now I have a 90-day challenge. So like at the beginning of October, I was like, hey, the year is coming to an end. We need to be practicing yoga and for like in a good place. So like my practices begin in a chair, and then they move to standing with the chair, and then they move to the mat. And so that way every single type of yogi can get their needs met, because sometimes we do need to start in a chair, and sometimes it's just the day. It's not necessarily us all the time doing exactly like maybe our hips hurt or whatever. So every single day we start in a chair. You can find my challenge there. It's completely free. Every single day I've been loading a video. I think today's 49. So lots of work goes into this. I love whatever type of feedback I get from people as far as like what poses do you want to see, because this is kind of like creating it as I go. And so by the end of the year, we'll have created, or will have created 90 days of content, and every single day it's only 15 minutes. So like I want to make this approachable in a way that's like easy. The time, like there's not to say like no excuses, but like why not? It's only 15 minutes. Like try to switch your mind from like, oh, no excuses, we have to do this, I don't deserve food, and all these weird things that come up when it comes to like diet culture. Instead, think like, I can't wait to move my body. I just want to work out. It's only 15 minutes. Like I'm going to feel so much better when I'm done. So like giving people that accessibility, it's free, it's only 15 minutes, and it's every single day. And so yeah, you could jump in any time too. If you want to start on day 1, then go for it. If you want to go, and if you want to jump in right now or tomorrow you do it. So it's awesome. I'm super excited about it.
On November 21st, you have a challenge coming on, a new one at 8 a.m., correct?
Yes.
It starts. Okay,
yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so like most of my classes are all virtual. It's over Zoom. And it kind of is a perfect time to be promoting things like this, because we just went back to purple. So like super bummer, right? But like, why can't we call ourselves triathletes along the way? When I was like really into yoga and like a fitness journey, I did a lot of running, and so I wanted to create something that was accessible to people where they could call themselves triathletes. And that's happening on Saturday. It's at 8 a.m. And of course, this isn't Pacific as it is, but like people from all over the world will be in this Zoom call. I'm super excited about it. Like Argentina and like Ireland, it's kind of cool to like see all these people coming together, and they're doing the same thing. And it's called a mindful try because we will be practicing mindfulness. Like, we need to like take a little bit more into our bodies, like as far as like really practicing and focusing our breath onto whatever is coming up for us. We have Thanksgiving next week. We have lots of things. Maybe we need to just practice some kindness for ourselves because we've been stressed out about everything in life right now. So the mindful try just helps you kind of like practice yoga in a very gentle way. It's a 60-minute practice and then a 15-minute meditation and a 1-mile walk. So I'll be going live on Instagram. The 1-mile walk is like free content if you want to follow me along or follow along with me. And basically, we just are going to like call ourselves triathletes at the end of it. So I'm just kind of like, yes, girl, like, let's do this.
That sounds like so much fun. And it's so inspirational to hear you, how you've created this brand in the course of a year. You have thousands of videos. You've put so much time into creating this wonderful persona, or who you really are, really. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I wanted to ask you too, have you always been this candid? Are you, able to just be free?
So the short answer is yes, and the longer answer is I've had a lot of public speaking. So I had a job at one point when I was working in retail. I also did paint nights. So if you're familiar with paint night and going to an event where you learn to paint, I was a master artist. I would take everybody through a paint night, and basically it was a very like, let's drink up, let's get crazy kind of event. And so like that version of like having fun and being a really big personality was really easy to come out. And I've just kind of like leaned into that and like made it more like approachable. So it's like more fun and not as much raunchy.
Well, Tiffany, I could chat with you all day.
I know, this is so much fun.
So much fun. I'll have to have you back on the show, 100%. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, National Raisin Company, and I'd like to thank all of our guests. And go check out Tiffany Croww at all her social media platforms. She'll make your day. And thank you to all the viewers for hanging out with us on our first Positively Fresno show. Bye.
Carroll Co., the Valley's leader for no-cost energy upgrades. Now installing AC motors, Nest thermostats, insulation, and more. COVID-19 safe. Call Carroll Co. at 559-396-3939 and visit carrollco.net.
Pour yourself a glass of Crybaby wine, available at the market and Sam's Italian Deli. And remember to ask for Crybaby wine at your favorite restaurant. Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973.
With Organic Pastures Raw Milk, you're getting a product that has been meticulously managed from grass to glass. From our pastures to our dairy, creamery, and distribution, we work hard to produce a product that is safe and clean for you.